You're listening to a Rock Candy podcast.
You are now entering Magnified Studios. Welcome.
Coming to you from Magnified Studios, Magnified Pod presents It's Hard to Find a Podcast, covering your favorite indie bands from the 90s Christian alternative scene. Put your tape decks on record. I am Andrew.
I'm John.
This is our podcast.
Yeah.
And we're back on our regular bullshit.
We're back. Sad to leave behind spooky season. And yet, when I heard those bass notes and those dulcet Dave Bazan tones, I got pumped again to dive back into regular, hard to find a podcast content. So
yeah. And this is anything but a regular podcast content episode.
Yeah,
bro.
true.
We're kind of doing a little bit of a makeup episode. We don't have an album that we're discussing today. We have voicemails. We have some other things to discuss. I was just in Chicago, recorded a little content. So we're just going to get to some of that before we get back into talking our regular stuff. But because we do have
And
some
even a little bit more of a detour before we get back to our regular indie rock, because Andrew, a band that we care very much about, as this episode drops, has a new record out in the world.
It's true.
Talking that Craig's Bro.
It's true.
New record out. So we will be talking about that. There will be some Craig's Brother content in the coming weeks. So watch for that. But, we'll get back to some fuzzy indie rock band nobody's heard of not long after that. I know everybody's clamoring for it. So
yeah, exactly. Everybody's been chomping at the bit to be like, come on, guys, when are you going to cover a band I've never heard of again?
It's coming.
Yeah. So we are fully
submerged.
Moving into fully submerged. Man, that is a throwback.
Old school.
That's old school. It's a sentence I haven't heard, a phrase I haven't heard in a long time. You know what's
Danny
funny,
Stairs,
John?
we miss you. We love you.
Yes. It's funny. What's funny, John? I just saw you take a deep pull from that Topo Chico over there. And we both independently decided for this episode to drink plain sparkling water.
We're coming off of a month of candy and beer. We hung out and had some beers this weekend.
True.
Kind of in a water place right now.
Speaking of being back on my bullshit, I've been writing some poetry.
Hell yeah.
And something that I was writing the other day was like, drink water, stay hydrated. Whiskey isn't water. Drink tears for electrolytes. So I'm just like back on my emo bullshit, but it's like, yeah, man, drink some fucking water.
Yeah.
And I need to be back on that.
I'm trying. And we've been known to do some water wars around these parts, and Topo Chico reigns supreme from our many water wars matchups. But you also sent me a sparkling water blind tasting that Uprocks did this week, and they voted Topo Chico #1 as well. So
yep.
Topo Chico's what's up,
and a number 2 for a brand that I've never heard of, and that they admittedly also had never really heard of, but also Jarritos had.
I was like, I didn't know they had a water.
I didn't know that either, but
I gotta try that. Some more water wars to come.
Good for them. Yeah.
We also have some wars of a sort that we'll be tasting later. Not water, but we'll get there.
Even close.
not even a little bit like water. I did see
it's water in the world of Pawnee.
Yeah, exactly.
It's water zero in. It doesn't imply that there's 0 calories. It means that there's 0 water in it.
Right. We should pump it into our water fountains and put our mouths directly over the spigot, Pawnee style.
Exactly.
To get it. But speaking of spooky stuff in water, Polar, one of the waters we tasted at some point, I believe, or at least we had some recommendations from folks about Polar.
Yes.
Remember we drank the orange, and that was tasty. But I heard that there was a werewolf flavored Polar available at Halloween time, and obviously that's
What
right
does that
up our
even
alley.
mean?
I don't know. As I'm saying it, I'm like, did I hallucinate this? Is this real? No, Polar Seltzer Junior Werewolf Howls. Bubbles and mythic flavor, a fruity recipe of epic yumminess. I don't know what that means, but there's a werewolf right on there. He's howling. Um, I don't know. I don't know what it tastes like, but we got to get our hands on some werewolf. Werewolf Howls Polar, perhaps next spooky season. So,
Speaking of werewolves, John,
mhm.
we got some brand new merch
Ooh,
coming your way. The people have spoken.
yes.
The Patreon punks specifically, they're looking for some buttons, and just this week got some 3 different buttons in. One that says Magpod for life, one that's the Phantom Cackler design that we have on shirts, and
Hell
the
yeah.
other is the Werewolf Reclamation Project design.
Yes.
So we have 3 of those buttons coming your
Yes.
way. So hopefully, I've already put all 3 on my denim jacket. Gotta
Awesome.
represent the pod.
Yeah. Get your hands on those. Get your fingies on some sweet pins.
John, speaking of getting your sweet fingies on things, if people want to use those sweet fingies to call and leave us a voicemail,
Nice.
they can do that. 872-762-4763, 872-7magpod. And we have a backlog of voicemails that we haven't listened to, primarily because we're like, you guys, we're going to be doing spooky stuff. We want to keep it to the spooky stuff. So we have some voicemails from some of you guys. So we're going to listen to some of those. And here's one from back in September that I don't believe we've listened to. We'll see if we remember. This is our girl, Jen Mandigo, aka.
Hey, Andrew and John. This is Dr. Chad. I'm sick, so sounding a little bit more like Chad today than usual. I wanted to say that I know I haven't called in a long time, but I have been listening to every episode, and I enjoyed the discussion of Jimmy Eat World on the most recent one. I just finished it up. I know it doesn't really fit with anything, but can we just talk about Jimmy Eat World? I really like them. And I think you're right about Bleed American being a perfect record.
Correct.
One interesting thing that I remember is that it came out right around September 11th, 2001. And for a period of time, they weren't allowed to play it on the radio. And they actually changed the name of the song and the album to just Bleed. And I took out the word American on some of the copies of the record, which I thought was kind of weird. Also, another Jimmy Eat World tidbit. They're one of the only non-shit bands that's actually from Phoenix. So you hear about them a lot here. My oldest kid is in this super bougie kids choir here in Phoenix. And he was telling me that there's this girl in his choir whose dad is in this band that's really popular with old people. And it turns out that that band is Jimmy Eat World. So we are old people, but I think we already knew that. Anyway, just wanted to say, even though we haven't talked in a while, I love you both. Megpod for life.
Love you too, Dr. Chad.
Yes. I know that was like 2 months ago, so I'm assuming you are hopefully feeling better.
Yes.
Yes. So Jimmy was amazing. They're amazing.
Yes.
Bleed American, perfect record.
Agreed.
I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, I think it just became like a self-titled record.
Yeah, I don't remember just Bleed. I remember them taking off Bleed American entirely, but maybe there were like multiple versions of it.
Yeah.
But it was so silly then.
Yeah.
And it's silly now, but there was a lot of sensitivity following 9/11, I guess. But
yeah. And yeah, it was just their self-titled, I think, for a long time. I think it was eventually it got back to
switch
being,
back. Yeah, I think so. Isn't
overly.
it also like bleed American, like you're so American, you bleed American. Like it's kind of in keeping with the sort of, you'd see like a mural that says I bleed American or something.
I bleed red, white, and blue.
Right. It's not like they were like, oh yeah, American blood, we love that or whatever.
Weird time.
Perfect record.
Yep.
Thank you for weighing in, Jen.
Trying to think of what other Arizona bands, she said that like they're like the one big non-shitty Arizona band.
Well, we were texting about the Meat Puppets, and I know the Brothers Meat are from Phoenix, but I can't really. I'm hard pressed to name any other Phoenix bands. I don't know. I'll Google it real quick.
I mean, I guess. Do we want to say Pedro? I mean,
sure,
I guess that doesn't really. I mean, it's not
counts-ish.
Really sort of adjacent.
Oh, Gin Blossoms. There you go.
Okay.
Well, I think that's sort of. It says the lead singer grew up in Tempe, so I'm not sure how much they can really. Oh, he died in Tempe. All right, Jesus, I brought up a sad thing.
Yeah, that's a really bummer story.
Yeah, it sure is. Another great band. I don't know any of these bands, I gotta say. Chester from Linkin Park spent several years in Phoenix, so got that. I guess another sad story.
Let's keep bringing up sad stories. I guess
Sorry.
The moral of the story is Arizona is just concentrated sadness.
Yeah. That's for more along those themes, listen to the Phoenix record by Pedro. Also, I don't know what to tell you. We do have, of course, the Funk Junkies, Chronic Future, the Jetsons, Roger Klein and the Peacemakers. So some classics there. I guess you're right, Jen.
Yeah, you and me, big Klein heads.
Yeah, for sure. That's season 5.
Some Danny Stairs.
What is up, my beautiful boys? It's been a while, but it's me, your boy Danny Stairs. I heard the call out. I finally started listening to this season.
Hey.
I heard the call out. Andrew was correct. Indie just isn't my scene.
Sure.
So I kind of have this on the back burner. I made it through the first 5 episodes, and the post games on those, or the post show, whatever, post episode. I wanted so desperately to like Pedro, if for no other reason than in the first episode, the way John talked about his love of Pedro and Bazan just in general and his work. I wanted that to be something I could experience too, and I couldn't. I gave it the old college try, but it just wasn't for me. I like, just a little different style. I think I texted Andrew when I was listening at some point and said this, that had I discovered this before MXPX, I probably would have been into it, but then that kind of broke me for a lot of other things.
Yeah.
So unfortunately I didn't get into it musically. Lyrically, and the content was great. There were a lot of just beautifully written lyrics and the metaphors and it was all really interesting. And even just musically, just listening to his growth, I could see as his musicianship got better. I could feel that, and I could appreciate that, even though it never grew on me as anything I really enjoyed. There were some songs that almost got me there, but on the whole, it just didn't apply to me. But I'm happy that you, John, got to do this and talk about something that's so important to you. And I did find a lot of joy just in listening to you talk about it, because that's something that brings me joy, is listening to people talk about what makes them happy. So I really liked that. And then some of the lyrics, I think what really, one that just caught in my head is "My kingdom for someone to rock with," or whatever, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that one really hit me as a guy who's a single guy. That's always a thing I weigh in my mind, is would I give up my kingdom, my freedom, for someone to ride with? And, until I find someone who I would, I'm enjoying my kingdom, but, hopefully someday I find that person to ride with. But anyhow, keep up the great work. Magpie for life. Toodaloo, motherfuckers.
Thank you, buddy.
all too rare Danny voicemail that's
Yeah,
also extremely sincere.
I love it.
Very thoughtful, very I appreciate that he gave it the old college try, as it were.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for uh trying something that you knew wasn't for you, sticking with it for a while, even when it wasn't working. And I really appreciate you saying that, buddy, about finding joy in my finding joy in it. um
We are a couple
I
joy boys after all.
It's true. um there was great joy to be found in our Pedro coverage for me, as well as great sadness, which we touched on a little recently, where like,
Yeah.
especially these couple recent Pedro records, exploring his childhood in such ways as Yellow Bike, which Danny mentioned, the refrain of My Kingdom for Someone to Ride With, really got us in our feels about thinking about our own childhood and self-parenting and all that. But yeah, that's a line and an idea that has always really hit me. And obviously he's doing the thing there that he did a lot on those records, where he's like talking about being lonely as a kid, but really talking about himself today, being sad as like a solo dude out on the road for that long and kind of wanting to get the band back together. So I love it for the sort of dual purposes of that. But yeah, it's a there's those those records pack an emotional punch, perhaps even if you're not connecting with them on sort of a musical level. So
Yep. And I won't necessarily fault anybody for not connecting with Pedro on a musical level, especially for those very much rooted in the
yeah,
punk scene.
yeah,
Like, yeah, maybe a little slow and not, but the fact that Danny listened and
yeah,
comprehended and like the lyrics and gave that some thought, I think that's really cool.
for sure.
It's not something that a lot of people would
No,
do.
special guy, that Danny Stairs.
It's true. Ooh, we got our boy Bobby G.
Ooh,
Hey Andrew and hey John, it's your boy Bobby G. Robert, go, that's him, and yeah, that's me, with some news for you about Furnace Fest and Five Iron Frenzy, cause they're the best. Alright, so, this is take two because full disclosure, I tried calling earlier and I totally messed up my voicemail. So, Furnace Fest, today, at the time that I'm calling it, is Thursday night, and Furnace Fest starts tomorrow. I'm going to be going on Saturday, and I can't wait. Shout out to Shadow producer Jason and everybody for making Furnace Fest possible. But man, I'm excited because this morning I woke up to a Facebook message from Brad, which is weird because he's dead, I thought. But Brad messaged me this morning and asked if I could sit in on trumpet on Renegades because they needed to fill out the horn sound a little bit, make it nice and big.
no shit.
And I think that's a song that his son sat in on when they played in Denver. So
Yes,
it's great to pretend to be Brad's son for an evening, I suppose. No, but I've been a fan for like 25 years, and I am so excited. Five Iron is my favorite band, hands down. Their only competition is the Beatles. I got to be friends through Leonore a couple of years ago when I was playing horn with Thiessen, but I'm so excited, and I want to share this with you guys. So I'm going to call again after the whole experience happens. But as a fan and as a professional trumpet player, it's just an absolute lifelong dream come true. So here's to you guys for helping to, build that friendship between myself and Five Iron, and for this amazing community that you guys are helping build, and that Furnace Fest is like reinforcing. And I'm just so thrilled that all of us weird church kids who like this post-punk music and stuff can get together, and in 2022 there's still so much magic happening. So you know what that means? It means MagPod for life. All right, bye.
Thank you, buddy.
Dreams do come true.
Dreams do come true. Love to hear that. Love to hear an O Canada to the tune of voicemail. Now, I think we know what happened with this, right?
I think so.
I think we got another voicemail coming, but my understanding is they had some technical difficulties during the set, and Renegades was one of the songs that they had to lose.
Oh no.
Which is sad, and perhaps he'll explain more.
Yeah. I also want to call out favorite bands, Five Iron Frenzy and the Beatles. The big two. As everybody says, it's really hard to.
Is that what he said?
Yeah, he said that it's his favorite Five Iron Frenzy's all-time favorite band, only next to like to the Beatles. Like,
I mean, it's pretty good duo. I'll take it.
It's a toss-up for most people. Like, yeah. I don't know. Let's hear what Bobby has to say here.
Hey, it's your boy Bobby G. I'm here at Furnace Fest in Birmingham, Alabama, and it has been an amazing day. It's Saturday, and Five Iron Frenzy played today, and as I mentioned in a previous email that you may or may not have played, I was invited to join the band for Renegades. So, it's been an interesting day. There were some technical difficulties, and the band had to cut 2 songs short because of all of that. The Renegades didn't happen, but they were so kind. I just got to hang out with the band, and they gave me a VIP wristband, and got to see Pedro the Lion side stage, Five Iron side stage, but I also jumped in the pit, and Blindside side stage, and got to hang with the crew and just have a great time catching up with all the members of Five Iron Frenzy, who remain wonderful people. So, yeah, it hasn't exactly gone according to plan, but I have absolutely nothing to complain about because I'm here at Furnace Fest, and I got to hang out with a band that has meant so much to me for most of my life at this point. And I'm floating in a community of people who grew up on the same music I did, just reacting so passionately to these amazing songs from all these super cool bands. Anyway, Furnace Fest is amazing. Everyone should go. Shout out to Shadow producer Jason and everybody involved in making this happen. Shout out to Five Iron Frenzy for inviting me to take part. It's been a great night. MagPod for life.
Sorry that didn't work out, but your point stands.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're all great. They're all great people.
Yes.
What a way to spend a day watching Five Iron and Pedro and Blindside from the side of the stage and getting in that pit, mixing it up.
Yeah.
I'm extremely jealous of everybody who made it down there because what a lineup.
I know. One of these years we'll make it. Now, a year that contains both Pedro and Five Iron. Some are saying we should have been there this year. Couldn't do that this year, but
many people are saying
we need to do this at some point. But yes, I appreciate you, Robert, talking about, we talk a lot about the specialness of the scene. And I think the elements of it that we talk about when we do say that are present in, the continued vibes of Furnace Fest and the folks related to it and MagPod Nation and all that, special people all around. So I'm very glad that you got to be part of that. Really sad that you did not get to play. I mean, it rules that Brad reached out to you to play on that song. That song rules. It would have been awesome. I'm bummed that they had technical difficulties and had to cut some great stuff. But, that sounds like it would have been super cool. Now, yes, Brad invited his son. He invited Robert. I've mentioned on the pod, I played a little trumpet in my band. Just saying, Five Iron, when you booked that Chicago show, which I assume is going to happen at some point here, and get me up on that stage blowing on that horn. I won't say no. Have I played in the last 15 years or so? No, but that's not going to stop me. I'll get up there and it'll be great. But yeah, that sounds awesome. You could hear sort of the change in the tone of his voice between voicemails. So I kind of felt bad that he did not get to realize the dream, but he did get to realize a version of the dream. So at least there's that.
Yeah. So we also got an email from our boy Joel Hang Hartsey, who we've had on the pod.
Yes.
Who did end up sharing some tracks from one of the bands that he was in, that he was a bass player in. back in the late 90s, the Boxcar Children.
Mm-hmm.
So he said, I'm really proud of the writing the riff for Full Fledged and the background vocals on Paper Airplane. The bass playing, I'm less proud of. So let's check out the riffage on Full Fledged.
Yes. Ooh. Some good riffage there.
Some good riffage. It definitely has some When I Come Around,
Yeah.
Green Day.
It's guitar, that guitar sound. Yeah, classic sort of, pop punk chord
Definitely
structure there.
90s pop
Yeah,
punk. Yeah,
the rules.
chord.
I don't think you need to feel bad about the bass playing. Sounded fine to me.
Definitely sounds great.
Yeah. Should we hear
Certainly.
some
Paper
what were you
Airplane?
gonna say? Yeah, Paper Airplane. Ooh. Another classic
Yeah.
chord progression there. Ooh. Is this Nirvana?
Yeah, right?
That's really fun. Yeah.
Man. Well done.
Nice work. You should feel good about those background vocals. Those sounded great.
Yeah, it sound good. I mean, 17, 18? That sounds great,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, that rules. I don't know what that reminds me of exactly, but it's sort of like the Impossibles. I get a little bit of vibes of the background vocals that they did. Maybe some like old Goaty Hook. I don't know. It reminds me of something, but
Yeah.
I like it.
Definitely of that sort of tooth and nail 1997 Offspring,
Sure.
Green Day kind of vibe.
Yeah.
And then he also
had another
sent
band.
us, yeah, Biltus.
Yeah.
Uh,
So Biltus, he said, was his more serious band that he was in when he was a little older, right?
Yeah.
So check out some Biltus. Okay. All right.
Come on over, my friends. We got barbecues and dogs. We'll have fun in the sun and play out in the yard. There are pears in a tree. We'll run out in the street. We'll send Gwen to the store to get a little bit. We'll get a little bit.
Nice.
We'll get a little bit. We'll get a little bit. We'll get a little bit. And then when we get home to our lovers and beds, there's a lot more work to be done and so much more left to be said. We put love in the world, we make more when together. It might be over for now, but now is not forever.
Ooh.
We'll get a little
There we
bit.
go.
We'll get a little bit. We'll get a little bit. We'll get a little bit.
Cool.
This is really that. I mean, this
We're into
is
it, man.
Yeah, that is the structure of that song. All
Yeah.
of the different elements
Yeah.
layered in there.
There's a lot going on.
Lot going
There's surprising turns and twists, and
Yeah, good key action, some
Yeah,
good
man.
keys and synths.
that's
Fun
Joel
little
on
bass
vocals, little bass riffage. Joel on vocals on that song. He sounds good. Yeah, that's A Little Bit by Biltis.
A little bit of what though? What's Gwen
just
getting
a
from
little
the store?
bit. I don't know.
Gwen,
For that barbecue.
she getting some booze?
It could be
She getting some more hot dog buns? Do they run out of hot dog buns?
getting some what's some stuff that Gwen Stefani would get? Some bindies. I don't know.
Some sparkly bindies.
You always need those at your barbecue.
Yeah.
That was great. Hold on, Joel.
Well done indeed.
So the first one was, he was the teenager. This one, he was 25.
Yeah.
I think you should be pleased with that. You know, some good, speaking of Beatles, some interesting sort of pop rock experimentation there, not
For sure.
unlike our dudes in PFR.
For sure.
Who I don't know if you ever did a full recap of your PFR experience on the pod. We'll get to some Pod for Rain content eventually, but do you want to say anything briefly about that?
It was amazing. I think I talked about it a little bit when we did our
Secret Barn
Halloween hang that we did with the Patreon.
Yes.
It was truly a wild evening because it's like these guys haven't played together live in like a decade.
Right.
And they all sounded so good.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just really impressed with how tight they were and how vocally they were just right on.
Yeah.
And it was fun. It was, a really small venue in a barn on one of the dude's farms, his farm in like the middle of nowhere, and it was really fun. Hope to get him on the pod. Hope to talk PFR at some point because I think there's a lot to discuss there, and very Beatles adjacent
for sure.
A lot of melodies to love with these guys.
Talented crew. And I know they had an extra guitar player with them for at least some of it live, but that was always my impression of them, was like, I can't believe that all this sound is coming out of three people. And the videos that you sent me and shared with me really backed that up. They still sounded great. We might have to throw up some of those photos and videos onto the socials for people to see.
I think so.
Anyway, good songs, Joel. I believe we also have a song, the Patreon punk Eric Gentry mentioned. Eric, a part of many bands, including the Adorkables. But he mentioned that there was a project that he did where he and fellow Patreon punk Meg both sang background vocals on. So he sent us that track, and I think we're going to hear some of that.
Secret Messages.
I believe the background vocal, like the big vocal part, comes toward the end of the song.
Okay. Let's check out this little bit here. Just a little bit.
Swallowing the walls of cave because a call is too unsafe, and you are taking it to your grave. Promise not to misbehave. It only translates to heartache and anguish in every romance language. And so we speak in code or secret messages. I guess I should have known that it would come to this. Come to this.
All right, let's
Pretty rad.
Fast forward to the end.
We speak in code or secret messages. I guess I should have known that it would come to this. Come to this. Are we adults or are we
There we go.
kids? Sneak around and steal a kiss. It's dangerous. Secret messages.
That rules. A
He knows
brief,
his way around a melody.
sure does. Brief little multi-vocal part section there, but yeah, we should say this is Adam Behan, Behan, and he was a bandmate of Eric's and the Adorkables. He's from Monterey, like Meg, like Eric. So yeah, that was great. Some great sort of power poppy melodies on this episode. So well done, Magpod Nation.
Indeed. All right, we got a voicemail from Brock.
What's up, Magnified Pod? This is Brock in Salem. Just calling up with a quick report of a wonderful weekend I spent in Denver, seeing Five Iron Frenzy. I did message Jason from Unoriginal Vinyl about a comment he'd made, I think on another podcast, about a Christian Christian bookstore with a Christian music room. And man, it was great. I found shelves and shelves and shelves of things, including a flying cart sampler with cool little dialogue snippets and things mixed into the tracks. Very unique, very cool. I spent $55. I did see Reese before the show. I bought him a shot of Fireball to help his vocal cords. I met Micah before the show. He thought that I was not real. He thought I was an alternate personality for Reese Roper in online message boards, and it turns out I'm real, and it blew his mind. It was fun. Planet Smashers opened the show. It was a great show. I skanked so hard that I broke my foot. I've confirmed with my doctors, and I had 6 to 8 weeks without skanking before I am done, I suppose. So that was kind of a bummer, but I was there with wonderful people and got to see Five Iron, and Five Iron's set was flawless. Even with the wrinkles, even with the warts, it was flawless. It was a fantastic evening, fantastic event. So whoever's going to see him at Furnace Fest, enjoy. It's gonna be fun. Hey, Magpod for life.
That's right. Thanks, Brad.
People who saw them in Denver and saw them
Furnace Fest. Yeah.
And
we got nothing, baby.
Here you and me are just a couple jabrones not seeing Five Iron, not seeing
Where are these shows, Five Iron? That's my question. Yes, we did share some of this already from the messages that Brock sent us about his evening, but it was good to hear a little more filled out there. Brock did us, in Micah's defense, does sound like a name that Reese would make up, but you are real, so we appreciate that. Yes, thanks folks for sharing your thoughts from that weekend. Sounded rad. Some stapling, maybe.
Some pregnant pauses.
Mm-hmm. Amazing.
Big room sound.
Yeah, good echo, good trailing off. Now we should say he did fit that in before actual Halloween, but we had recorded our Halloween episode before that. So thank you, Fatchem Cackler, for your final Halloween cackle. Great content all month.
We needed to fit that one in, since we're definitely not gonna forget.
No, that was perfect.
Yeah. Speaking of content, John.
Yes.
So we just hung out last weekend.
Yes.
I made my way out to Palatine. Kristen and I did, because we saw Carly Rae Jepsen.
Yeah.
For the second time this year.
Yes, we did.
And it's always a good decision if you can see Carly Rae.
Yes.
You do it. You know, and there's two rules. When someone asks if you're a god, you say yes. And if you can see Carly Rae Jepsen, you see her.
Uh-huh. That's what I live by.
Ghostbusters, anybody?
Oh yeah, I was like, what's that from again?
Ray, when someone asks you if you're a god, you say yes.
Right, of course.
Anyway, while we were out there, we were going out to brunch at the Chicago Diner in Logan Square, and we are walking by this sort of convenience store, and out of the corner of my eye, I was like, I saw the Warheads logo, and lo and behold, they were Warheads energy drinks.
Yes.
So,
well, these were just sodas, I believe.
Weren't they?
I think the Starbucks was the energy drinks.
Starburst.
The Warheads was sour soda.
Not Starbucks, Starburst.
Sorry, we're confused on everything.
Yes.
But yeah, we were not aware that Warheads sodas existed, so we needed them in our life.
Sodas. But in addition to that, you did have 2 Starburst energy drinks from like a year ago.
No, it was from this summer.
Was it from this summer? Okay.
Yeah. But they'd been sitting in the fridge since summertime waiting for you. I wasn't gonna have one of those by myself.
Yeah. So yeah, we had to take these and make some content out of them.
Of course.
So after waiting for so long, we had to finally crack open these long-awaited beverages. So let's take a listen to our recap of tasting some of these delicious bevies.
Should we do magic table?
Ooh, yeah, we should. This is what we did for when we watched.
Opening up my table there.
That was
You still live here, right?
Yeah, that was an evening that started. That was the evening that when John and I started doing that rap air horn. Yeah, but that was when we first started doing that.
We watched an episode of Fixer Upper because Mike Herrera and his wife.
I've seen the episode.
Oh, okay.
Prior to.
Okay.
Yeah.
This.
Is our partners weighing in reluctantly?
So I'm gonna save this one to open for that. Yeah, because I don't think this is. Yeah. Ooh, there it is. All right, we got.
Are you recording?
Yes, I am. We're forcing pod content on you.
You want to get in here and share your reactions?
Ooh, John,
Smell it?
smell that cherry. We got some Starburst C4 energy drinks.
It smells like Starburst Plus an energy drink.
It sure does. So nothing pairs with Starburst energy drinks quite like Necco wafers.
It's true.
Or
did you start recording already?
Yeah, I sure did.
Oh man, I just had a flashback to high school where we ran out of change, so we used Necco wafers to get through a toll booth, and they worked.
It's amazing, by the way.
Life hacks.
Maybe that's their one good purpose.
Yeah. It tricked them.
All right, John, do you remember the flavor profiles or colors of these?
I believe white is cinnamon, dark purple is licorice.
So we should say that in addition to the C4 energy drinks, I did bring some Necco wafers.
Yes, you did.
For you to enjoy.
It was a perfect communion. Clove is maybe light purple.
Okay, so this looks like is that a dark purplish?
I think so. Is it dark enough?
Maybe
try a little bit.
Well, I was eating these blind on the pod, and
they really do crack your. Wow. Now, our listener Garrett said you can't bite them; you got to suck them.
That means you have to.
Commit?
I'm smelling clove. Is that what's
I
happening?
think this is clove.
Okay, because I could. It's not even. You're full like 2 feet from my face.
Yeah.
And
If they weren't recording, I would talk to you about how good this is.
Well, you guys got to get in here. I'm pouring some for everyone. All right.
The Starburst C4 in it. John, you've had these Starburst Energy C4s.
I have been staring at them in our fridge for like a year.
I've been wanting us to try them.
And to be fair, babe, I didn't know that I wasn't allowed to drink them, so we're really lucky that I didn't just.
You think you would have cracked one open?
I could have just opened.
All right, right, I think I'm getting a licorice now. Sounds gross. I'm like,
I don't know what this is. Gary, I'm sorry. These are trash. No good. This
What-
is wintergreen, I think.
You need to find the lime, man, because that was the one. What is this? That's so dark.
I don't have the patience to suck on them.
Is it chocolate?
That's chocolate.
Yeah, it's so.
That's not bad, actually.
But it's an unsettling texture.
I feel like this is licorice. You can hear the dog snoring in the background.
Oh, that's licorice. That one's good.
Gross,
I support that.
dude. So, all right, let me.
Well, that one's good. I like that.
There's never. That was like the one licorice I see.
All right.
So loud.
It just sounds like you're chewing on gravel.
Bones. Yeah. I would also like to apologize to everyone for joking about chewing into the microphone, because now that I hear it, it truly does sound disgusting. So sorry, everybody.
We have
That's wintergreen.
Mm,
Not lime.
we have our reluctant pod partners here.
Yep.
And
Hey, I am being a really good Instagram husband right now.
okay, thanks. I didn't request it, but I accept it.
You should never send me those pictures, by the way.
No.
I gotta get those pictures.
We know, Andrew, that you are a pink boy, and I'm a red rider.
What's chocolate?
Chocolate's pretty good, I feel like. It's decent.
I hate them all. They're so hard. I'm so worried that I'm gonna crack a tooth.
I know, man. They really are. I guess that's why you have to suck on them. They're so hard that you have to suck on them.
Yep, it's like, but if you suck on them, do they get
Shut
less?
up. Nope.
Where's the dark purple?
Hey, I would just like to state for the record, we weren't the ones
Yeah,
that said it sounded super sexual.
The ladies talking about.
Yeah, so don't get mad at us because we yes-anded your sexual joke.
Right, we're just talking candy. If you hear us talking about how hard candy is that you have to suck on it, that's
on you.
That's on you.
All right, so
I think that was the orange.
I'm not a fan.
No,
I do really like the licorice one, but to wash these down,
so gross.
I've had more than enough Necco wafers this
for
year.
one life. But we have here Starburst C4 energy drinks, superhuman performance, with carnosine and beta power.
It's
you know
what
it's
the hell?
good.
I don't want a beta. I want alpha. You're a beta cuck, John.
Yeah, these are cuck drinks.
These are for simps.
They contain 0% juice in case there was any concern about that.
Yeah.
So
it contains 100% estrogen.
Right. Should we start with the strawberry or the cherry?
We should start with the pink.
All right. So pink boys. Gus is weighing in over there as well. Oh jeez. We determined there's how much?
Well, I was wrong. It's 200 milligrams of caffeine, which seems to be pretty standard for an energy drink.
Okay. Still probably more caffeine than we would like right now.
Yeah.
But we're gonna start off with the pink here.
Yeah.
And see if it's up to your pink boy standards.
Why is it clear?
Oh yeah.
It is clear.
Unsettling.
I feel like most energy drinks are not. I don't know. Maybe the Starburst. Maybe they're going the natural route. They're like, we're not nothing artificial.
Yeah.
Just the beta power.
I thought that I've already got enough beta power. I thought there'd be a pink hue to it, but anyway. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, everybody.
Pink boys.
I'm gonna finish my delicious thing.
Whoa.
Oh my god. For zero sugar.
It sure tastes.
It's so sweet.
I feel like I have a toothache already.
Yeah, that is so sweet. And after eating Necco, wafers,
I know,
it's
that's a
like
lot.
it really hits you with flavor and sweetness.
Does it taste like a pink Starburst? What do we think?
It
Kinda?
sort of, but it mostly just tastes. It tastes like
Tastes like sugar.
artificial. There's also like
Tastes like one of those freeze pops.
yeah, but it also like
Those
I
are
was
good, though.
I was anticipating something that had like I thought it was gonna have a little bite or something
Yeah,
like
no bite.
like a monster or something
right.
like that has a little bit of effervescence. This just tastes like
like a melted freezer pop.
Only not as good. Yeah, I'm gonna say thumbs down on this one.
Yeah, this does not get the pink boy seal of approval. No, that's gross.
Well, I'm gonna move on to pouring some cherry here.
Yeah,
for all my Red Riders. We'll see if it lives up to.
Yep.
I'll just have a
There.
sip.
I need a little.
Red expectations.
Yeah.
Who's gonna have some red?
We're just trying so hard to get to get some group participation.
Yeah, zero interest. What was Jenny drinking? What was Jenny drinking that she kept saying was so delicious? I don't remember.
I don't know either, but this was also at night. And
Yeah,
we're
it was
like
late.
trying to be like, you guys want some energy drinks?
True.
Generous.
This has a very similar aroma.
It does. Yeah. Not a big smell difference there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, down the
Cheers.
hatch.
If you told me
This is
that
the
these were
same
the exact same thing,
It's slightly more cherryish than the strawberry.
It is,
one, so
it
for that
is.
reason, I like it more as a Red Rider. But neither of these taste very much like Starburst.
I don't know. Just throwing this out there, is there potential that it's being in your fridge for the last year degraded the quality?
I think it was summertime, so maybe more like 6 months. But
I don't know. These are supposed to be good through next year,
yeah,
so
I'll just tape up the top and save it. No, I don't think I'll be consuming any more Starburst C4.
you're not a
energy.
thirsty
for more.
thirsty for more.
$10.
They're
Something.
They're $10.
No.
You get $10 towards.
If you join C4 rewards,
I feel like dizzy from this, so
Oh, honey.
I think that's enough for me.
yeah, I don't need superhuman beta power or whatever.
At 9 o'clock at night.
No.
This patented form of beta alanine has been clinically shown to fight fatigue and improve muscular endurance. So, when you're putting in a workout, reach for a pink Starburst C4 and see what happens.
Yeah, I normally think for my health and nutrition needs, I think of products associated with explosives.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thumbs down to both of these.
Yeah.
Thumbs down to Necco wafers, except for the black licorice, which I'm about to enjoy.
No.
Necco wafers.
Where's the lime? That's what I want to know.
Don't sponsor us.
It's so
Is this lime or wintergreen?
I don't know.
Sorry, everybody.
Final thoughts? Anybody?
No, thank you.
All right. Well,
As Kristen pushes away the energy drink.
Starburst, you wouldn't sponsor us, so we don't need you anyway.
Yeah. All the free advertising we gave you for years.
Yeah. Your energy drink is trash.
Yep.
And you should feel bad.
Case closed.
Case closed. However,
Mm.
a little redemption, John.
Yes.
All right, so there's nothing like a post Carly Rae sour beverage.
Kristen was in
So,
bed at this point.
Yeah.
The C4 Starburst energy drinks, maybe not as
No. 2 thumbs down.
2 thumbs down, but spotted these today
yes.
on the way to brunch.
Yes. Andrew saw through the window. Warheads, sour sodas. So we're back with another taste test. We got some watermelon, green apple, blue raspberry.
I feel like we got to start with watermelon because I feel like those are going to be in my mind, that's going to be the weakest
Okay.
of the three.
Well, we were just saying warheads, great candy.
Yes.
Perhaps undersung.
Yeah. That is an aroma.
Oh man, that's pretty good.
Is it?
Cheers.
Ooh.
I'm digging it.
So already immediately a billion times better.
For sure.
Do you think it has to do with the fact that it's fresh?
It may play a role, but that other stuff just tasted like energy drink.
I mean, I feel like when we're talking sugary beverages, the concept of something being fresh is kind of
fair.
You know,
We did just crack these up in a day, though.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say that's good.
Yes,
That's a hit.
I'm gonna give it another little swig.
Tastes a little like a, watermelon Jolly Rancher.
It does. It's not Warhead sour.
No.
But
that's good. Jenny weighing in from chair over there recommended mixing these with vodka, which I think would be a good idea. Oh boy, green
This
apple
is the
up
green
next.
Apple. Oh man,
it's pouring a nice green.
I can already tell you that this is gonna be.
Oh baby,
this is gonna be a winner.
Down the hatch. Yep. That's just what you want it to be. It tastes exactly like a green apple candy.
Yep.
In soda form. Delightful.
Yeah.
Jenny's laughing at us.
Well, also thinking of Warheads, these aren't anywhere as sweet as those Starburst ones.
No,
those ones, even though those ones weren't those ones sugar free?
Yeah.
Yeah, those were really weird.
It still seemed really sugary.
Yeah, seemed really sugary, seemed really sweet.
These are a nice balance of sour and sweet.
Yeah.
It says, my flavor-packed sour soda will blow your mind and taste buds away.
Thanks,
Wally.
Thanks, Wally.
0% juice in these two, in case you were concerned about that.
So, blue raspberry.
Right.
Many people are saying that they should work with some brewery to make these into weird beers.
Sour beers. I like that idea a lot.
Man, this is, oh my god.
that looks like antifreeze.
that is
real
windshield
blue.
wiper fluid.
Thank you.
That is electric blue.
Oh boy. All right. Here we go. Round 3. That's good.
That's good.
I mean, it tastes exactly like a blue raspberry candy.
Yep. Also, many people are saying we should mix all three together.
Oh, I like that idea too.
So, got some blue raspberry.
Yeah.
Got some green apple.
What was that called?
Suicide?
Yeah. Not very.
That didn't age well.
No.
All right. Mixing all 3. Pretty good.
Pretty good. No complaints. 3 for 3.
No, I really like all these.
Yeah.
These are hits.
I feel like we can fully give this a MagPod endorsement.
I think so. Warheads, please sponsor us. A fair amount of sugar and carbs and calories in there, but
Lots of sugar.
What do you expect? It's liquid candy.
It's liquid sugar. You get what you pay for.
How would you rank them?
Ooh. In terms of, I think I gotta go sour. The green apple's gotta go first.
I think you're right. I gotta taste watermelon again, though.
Yeah. Taste this blue raz again. I think.
Yeah.
Is this the order?
I agree. Yep.
Yeah, green apple, blue raspberry, watermelon.
That's it.
Yeah.
But they're all good.
All good. But too bad there's not a grape.
No, there might be more out there.
No,
I didn't see, there's a cherry, I believe.
No grape
Didn't
daddy
see
this
that
evening.
there. You don't need a grape one. All right.
Yep.
Cheers to our heads.
Yep.
Great stuff.
Titillating content we have there.
Our energy levels are a little down on the second night. It was significantly later.
I think
It's
we're
post
also trying to
show.
be quieter.
We were trying to be quieter. Yes, they were delightful. We highly recommend sour soda. The two we didn't taste, yes, were black cherry and lemon. Perhaps we'll seek those out and try
Black
them at
cherry
some
sounds
point.
good.
Does. Grape would be good. You're right. And I'm seeing here, Andrew, Warheads produced in Janesville, Wisconsin, just over the border. It's about an hour
Ooh.
from here. Impact Confections. So
Interesting.
Impact, get at us, sponsor us. Should we take a trip to the candy factory? Make some connections? I think so.
Can we give Paul Ryan the finger while we're there?
Yeah, we can definitely do that. Janesville, home to Paul Ryan and the largest Culvers in the world.
Can I tell you about that Culver's?
Yes, please.
So it was quite the topic of conversation on our drive because they have billboards for it.
Yes. It's kind of just a regular Culver's.
And you're like, oh man, you can easily drive by it.
Yeah.
And not even think that this is anything but an average. And like the one thing that Kristen found on the website was like they have like a conference room or like some sort of business center of some kind.
I would totally have an office out of Culver's. That sounds great.
If you're like, oh, I need to have like an office, we need to have like a business meeting. Got to go get our butter burgers or something at Culver's.
Hey, shout out to Culver's for being one of the few places to have a veggie burger on their menu. If you're doing a road trip and you're looking for fast food, not a lot of places can offer veggie burgers. So shout out to them just for that.
But I also shout out to Culver's for being like, because if you think about it, every restaurant chain out there has a largest whatever chain restaurant for that fast food establishment, but Culver's is the one that's calling it out, because who's going to be like, hey guys, you want to go to the largest Subway?
Right.
Zero people care about that.
No, you want to go to the biggest Culver's. You want to get yourself some custard, maybe, perhaps a veggie burger. But to get back to Warheads briefly.
Yes.
So they're made by Impact Confections, I mentioned. Now, you hear a name like that. We've talked about Starburst being owned by Mars. Mars, a massive company that produces, dozens of big time candies. So you might think the same thing. I'm checking out Impact Confections. Andrew, all they make is Warheads and different kinds of Warheads, as well as Melster Circus peanuts, which are, those peanut candies, which I could take or leave, probably leave. But they also make Melster's peanut butter kisses, which are those like orange and black wrapped
God.
peanut butter treats, and those are delightful.
So they make everything that's trash minus the Warheads.
Yeah, well, I don't mind those little peanut butter candies. They're not top of the list, but anyway, that's all that they make. So we gotta find this. They're a brand of sour confectionery, as well as these two Melster products. So I'm gonna do my own research here. I'm gonna suggest a business meeting at the largest Culver's conference room with some folks from Impact Confections, and we're gonna make some deals happen.
Oh yeah, we are.
If we do, I would consider that a win, and we've got some other winners to talk about tonight.
Talking about that winner circle, John.
That's right. Quitters never win. And we haven't done the winner circle in a while. It's been a while. And I think we can safely say Warhead Sour Soda's winners. Also wanted to briefly mention, as we're recording this, we're coming just out of the midterm elections, with some literal winners. Still on the verge, as we record, of learning which way the Senate's going to tip. Nevada looks good. Arizona looks good, but still nervous. I keep seeing all this stuff about, once we get in, these 100,000 mail-in votes for Cortez Masto, things will really change. And I'm like, oh, he's still up like 2 points, and there's like 80% in. So I don't know. Hopefully things move in our direction and we don't all have a heart attack waiting for Georgia again.
Oh my God. The fact that people legitimately went to the polls and thought, oh, Herschel Walker, that is a reasonable choice.
Yeah, he seems like a cool guy.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I don't care if he played for the Vikings. I don't care.
No.
The only thing I care about is I mean this in all sincerity, not as like a joke. is that dude's brain okay? Like, I just worry about anybody who is a professional football player
Yeah.
at that age, like, especially from back in the day, man. Like,
yeah,
the research and in like the helmets and stuff from, decades ago, not
yeah.
what it is now. And the dude he's a very weird dude. And
Yes.
and I just wonder if he's, you know, I just worry about like that kind of traumatic brain injury that, and I'm not trying to be like an asshole or anything, but just like
Sure.
just listening to this guy talk, you're like,
Yeah.
you definitely probably took some hits.
We've come to expect a certain level of incomprehension in the post-Trump world from our politicians, but
Yeah.
this guy truly brings the incomprehensible
Yeah.
possible senator
Yeah.
to a whole new level.
Yeah.
As opposed to, the person who is the longtime pastor of Martin Luther King's church and has been active in the community for a very long time and is a very smart person. Anyway,
Yeah.
fingers crossed that Raphael Warnock remains in the Senate. But I'm bringing this all
Fetterman.
up to Fetterman. Hey,
Yeah.
good night
Yes.
for our dude. Good night for Pennsylvania.
Oh,
Good
God, I
night
just can't-
overall.
I can't imagine what it would have been like to just have to
have Dr. Oz as a senator.
Hear Dr. Oz bloviate for
Yeah.
years. Ugh, unbearable.
He'd be like, if I could, members of the Senate, Mr. President, this new product I've got is really going to pass this Senate bill forward, and it's an amazing snake oil. I don't know, whatever. I can't. That's not funny, but you know what I'm saying.
Yes,
he sucks.
He sucks. He's a con
peace
man.
out. Chill in your New Jersey mansion. Stay out of Pennsylvania. Anyway, overall, a good night. Still perilously close to to finding out what happens with the balance of power, but not the red wave that everybody expected. But anyway, what I was going to mention specifically was something a little closer to home, a literal winner. What I was most excited about in my election, because in Illinois, pretty much everything I voted for passed, and there wasn't much tension around that. But I was able to cast my vote for Nabila Syed, who was running for state rep in my district, and she won.
Hell yeah.
She flipped the district blue. She is a 23-year-old Muslim woman of South Asian descent. She will be the youngest member of the Illinois General Assembly. She'll be, I think, only the second person of South Asian descent to be in the Illinois General Assembly. So she is just rad. I mentioned to you guys that when she came to the door, because she knocked on every door in her district, which rules, she saw my Phoebe Bridgers shirt and was like, cool shirt. I was like, no, this is a politician I can get behind. Anyway, she's really great. And she was running against a middle-aged white guy who, not great in my opinion. And she flipped it. She won by 5 points. So much respect to her, much respect to members of Gen Z who were sworn into Congress at a national level and at local levels and state legislatures. And it's just really encouraging to see young folks like our now Representative-elect Syed really engaged and excited to shape a world that is crumbling before our eyes.
Yeah.
So anyway, I was very, very pumped about that win, and I would like to call her out for being a member of the winner's circle. I would also like to mention a second one, which is the band Soul Glow.
Ooh, yeah.
Which I don't know if we've talked about this on pod or if it was off mic, but you had recommended them to me
Yes.
earlier this year. I had not heard of them before that. You played me just a little clip and I was like, ooh, I'm writing this down because this connects. And I listened to the record and I was like, this absolutely rules. We check in with each other occasionally about our top 10 albums list, which we make throughout the year and we'll get to next month. But it's solidly on my list. And the more that I listen, the higher it rises on that list. So I feel very confident about it being among those albums. Been listening to it a lot. It rules. They are hardcore band from Philadelphia. some obvious sort of Bad Brains influences, but I think what's so exciting about them is they're so eclectic. There's a hip hop influence, there are ska elements, there are more traditional punk elements. They're very much a hardcore band, but there's metal aspects. There's even like some synthy psychedelic stuff in there occasionally. They cover so much ground. There's so much energy in it. And they are coming to Chicago. They're doing a small tour. And they're playing the Empty Bottle, which is a small venue. And I should mention for Magpod Nation folks, MXPX playing shows in Chicago and Milwaukee this coming weekend as the episode drops. And some folks out there on the Patreon and beyond had asked about, like, will we do a meetup? Will either of us be at either of these? But don't think we will be able to make it, in part because the Soul Glow show is Friday tonight, the same night as MXPX in Chicago. And I'm like, I gotta see Soul Glow. I'm sorry. So the show is sold out, but I emailed the venue and I was like, any chance I could get some extra tickets somehow? And they're like, we'll have some at the door, first come, first serve. And I'm like, I'm coming to that door like an hour before, and I'm really, really going to try to get a ticket. So very pumped about seeing them. And unfortunately, the next night in Milwaukee, my son is singing in a Christmas tree lighting chorus event. So I won't be able to go to either of those. Shout out to all the folks who will be at those. Danny Stairs, I'm sad I can't see you. Other folks who might be here. I know there's some folks mentioned on the Discord and the Patreon that they would make it up there. So we'll miss you, but we'll do another Magpod meetup, whether it's from XPX or 5 Iron or somebody at some point here. But really, really hoping to make it to Soul Glow. If I do, I will report back.
Yes. I think I told you that listening to that record, I'm like, man, I would love to go and see them. But at the same time, sometimes hardcore shows scare me.
Scare you? Yeah. That's fair.
Because like I just listening to this album, like, man, this pit would be intense.
Nuts. Now it's at the Empty Bottle, which there's not a lot of room for a pit there. And I'm sure there will still be one, but I don't think I'll be mixing it up in the pit. It's a little too intense. But, maybe I'll just be overcome if I get into the show with the energy, and I'll just get in there and really mix it up. But I agree, a hardcore pit is
different than
nothing
like
to fuck
ska.
with. Yes. Might break my foot at this one, Brock.
Yeah. Soul Glow pit ain't nothing to fuck with.
That's right. Everybody says that. But yes, their album from this year is called Diaspora Problems.
Yes.
Highly recommended.
Yes. So I also have a music-based winner.
Ooh.
Because this past Monday, I went to the Turf Club to see Barty's Strange.
Hell yeah.
And so I was supposed to see Barty's Strange was supposed to open originally for Lucy Dacus when she was going to be playing at First Ave, but then that show got postponed because of COVID, and then it was rescheduled, and then he was not on the bill anymore, and so that was a bummer. But this was a headlining show, and so it was a Barty's Strange headlining show, and it sold out, and this was his first ever sold out show.
Wow.
It was in St. Paul, Minnesota.
Yeah. This will be the last time he plays a venue that small there, by the way.
Guaranteed. This is the last time by the next year or so. I mean, this new album that he released it's called Farm to Table, and it is great.
Yes.
They put on an incredible show.
Cool.
He is such an interesting dude. He's originally from England, and then he like spent some of his youth in Oklahoma, and he like talked about like being like the only Black kid in his town, and so like sharing some about that. And then the musical style that the fusion of styles that he writes is sort of like indie pop, but like then some sort of like some like punk elements, and then it's got like a bunch of like synthy stuff going on, and then then it's hip hop. So he's just like, it keeps everything so interesting. He also has a really pretty voice.
Yes.
And just sort of like an unassuming looking dude. You would not like, you just like not looking. He just doesn't have that like, oh, this guy is, you know, he's just a very sort of, he was wearing like baggy jeans and like a unbuttoned flannel shirt. He did not like give off like, you know, he wasn't like coming on there like being like, oh, a big fucking rock star, but he like they played so well, and it just sounded so good. And I hope the next time I see him at First Ave. I assume that will be the next time, would be
probably
a headlining show at First Ave. But if you guys haven't listened to Bar Teas, I would absolutely recommend Farm to Table.
I would definitely like to see him live too. I know it's reductive to say he sounds like Block Party, but that's the comparison that a lot of people make, especially Silent Alarm, which is a lot of people's it's one of my favorite albums from the 2000s. Love that record, and I feel like he sort of continues on the aspects of that band and that album that were like unique. He touches on some of those elements as well, but obviously he's doing his own thing, like you said, and it's more expansive than just that. But I think if anybody's a fan of that record, they will certainly like Farm to Table. So rad. Well, those were some good winners, good voicemails, some good songs. I think we've successfully crushed this Oops All voicemails episode. Like we said, we'll be back with some more skate punk content soon, then back into indie. Next month we got some Christmas stuff coming up. So it's just good times ahead, everybody.
Oh man. We got Thanksgiving around the corner. The holidays, dude. We're entering my favorite time of year.
So good.
It's about to get cozy as fuck. You know, you guys can just, you know, put on your slippers, you know, get those slippies on, get some
little cardigan maybe.
Yeah, throw on a cardigan, get
a
yourself
snifter
some
of port.
hot cocoa.
Yeah.
And, you know, just snuggle up with your boys in your ears.
Exactly.
Just get us in your holes. Or whatever it is that we used to say.
I forgot. Was that something we said? No, that sounds right.
Something about filling holes.
Yeah, let us fill your holes at the holiday time. We should make a t-shirt that says that. Yeah. We'll get in your ears around the fire. And may a cozy holiday season be upon you all.
Yes.
We'll I don't know. We'll be back to former MagPod ish. I don't know what I'm saying. We'll get to some stuff that continues season 3 shortly, and then we will return to our season 4 content, and then we'll get Christmassy, and it'll be great.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, I'm really fucking up the closure of this episode. I don't know what's going on. I'm thrown off. Anyway, weigh in on what you think about this conversation and the coziness you're going to enjoy at Magnified Pod on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Follow and subscribe to the pod if you haven't already. Give us a rating or review. Hey, we could use some more reviews. We'll read those on the pod. Give us those 5 stars. You can email us at magnifiedpod@gmail.com.
You can leave us a voicemail at 872-762-4763, 8727-MAGPOD.
You can support us at the patreon.com/magnifiedpod, where you can still find, Andrew, a wonderful watch-along commentary to what's it called? Chopping Mall. Which doesn't have to be a Halloween season only film. Why not throw it on at Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
You have a nice meal with the family, you're relaxing after, throw on some Chopping Mall and listen to your boys.
Watch some heads explode.
Yeah, why not? You can also pick up some season 4 merch at magnifiedpod.storeenvy.com. Thanks to Small Step Records for sponsoring us. Check out smallsteprecords.com to learn more. And thanks to shadow producer Jason and Bruno at Unoriginal Vinyl for our artwork. Well, I think I hear the voice of the spirit begging us to shut the fuck up. We'll be back to try to make you go astray next week when we'll have a very special guest.
I can't
Hell yeah, Ted. Love some angry Ted.
Very excited to dive into exploring that more.
Yep.
For more shows like this one, visit rockcandyrecordings.com.